how getting a BBL at 16 ruined my life.
It's the most dangerous, not only plastic surgery procedure, it's the most dangerous operation there is with the highest fatality rate.
The Brazilian butt lift, or BBL, did not just become popular because of aesthetics. It became popular because it represents something deeper, a promise. The promise that if you change your body, your life will also change too, that you will be more confident, more noticed, and more valued. Hi besties, welcome or welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, please consider subscribing, like, comment, and share with your friends. Today's topic is about BBL regret is on the rise, and I've compiled some stitches where we can learn a thing or two, and I'll be back to share my own 2 cents.
No, sis, this shit hurts. I'm never coming back. Do you understand me? I'm never coming back. This shit hurts so bad. This shit hurts so bad. I've been here since 7:30 this morning. I'm just leaving. I woke up freaking. This shit hurts so bad. I'm about to just pee on myself because I gotta pee. And I don't care. Yes, I did. But he still gotta take me home. That's a 20-minute drive. I hate this. I'm never coming back. I don't even want to come back to Miami. I don't want to come back to Florida, period.
BBL and lipo. But do you know that you yourself have to help yourself and research? I got my body done in April, and I can say it was the worst mistake of my life. I used over 7 million euro to treat complications. I'm not exaggerating. So please, if you want to do your body, do not go to a hospital because of influencers. Do your what? Your due diligence. Do your research.
The danger here.
It's extraordinarily dangerous. It turns out it's the most dangerous, not only plastic surgery procedure, it's the most dangerous operation there is with the highest fatality rate. And I'll tell you why. You take fat from one part of your body, typically the abdomen, you process it, and you inject in the buttocks. Sounds easy, right? The problem is there's these very small little veins in the buttock that lead directly to the vena cava, which is the major blood vessel that brings blood back from your body to your heart, to your lungs. If you get fat in those little vessels and it gets in the main vena cava and goes to your lungs, it's over. It's the most fatal operation there is. And I would advise there are other ways to get a full buttock besides that.
If it's the deadliest operation, period, are they giving warnings when they do this to people? I mean, are people adequately being informed about the dangers here?
Not in my opinion. Now, last year, before the pandemic, an international task force was gathered to warn all of Europe that this is such a dangerous operation. And in this country, the American Society of Plastic Surgeons started to talk about it. They sent out a few articles about it, and then everybody pretty much ignored it. But listen, it's super dangerous. You can do it in the gym. There are safe fillers to do it. I recommend people back away from Brazilian butt lifts.
Last week, I spent time talking about the struggles of body dysmorphia. And a few days ago, we lost a young girl to her second round of liposuction. We live in a time where people are constantly told that if there's something wrong with their body, they need to fix it, remove it, sculpt it. The question I'm asking is, are we trying to fix body dysmorphia with surgery? Because the thing about the mind is, if the root of the insecurity is not healed, the goalpost keeps moving. Today, it's the stomach. Tomorrow, it's the waist, then the arms, then the hips again. And another thing we don't talk about enough is how comments about people's bodies plant these insecurities in the first place. For you, it was a passing comment, but so that person, you have created a dent, a worry, something they will now start seeing every time they look in the mirror. That's why people need to be mindful of the things that they say, because words about someone's body don't just disappear after the conversation ends. Sometimes they stay in a person's mind for years. And what scares me is how normalized these procedures have become online. We see the results, we see the snatched waist, we see the recovery pictures, but we rarely talk about the risks. it, but the mental battles that push someone to keep going back. The truth is, cosmetic surgery is still surgery. It's not a filter you can remove. It's not an edit button. A human being just lost her life. Moments like this make me wonder if society is focusing too much on fixing bodies and not enough on healing minds. Because if someone truly believes that their body will never be good enough, no amount of procedures will give them peace. Just thinking out loud though.
Getting part 4 of how getting a BBL at 16 ruined my life. I'm 22 now and I have already spent probably upwards of $90,000 on plastic surgery. Today I'm going to talk about the irreversible damage and answer some of y'all's questions. One of the top things that I saw people asking was to see the pictures anyways, because I didn't originally post the pictures of my butt implants flipping. I didn't post them because I don't think that TikTok would allow it because I didn't have pants on. If I could describe it to you, just imagine like a suction cup. You can go look up implants flipping and you'll see, but imagine it looked like a suction cup on my butt cheek rather than like a butt cheek. It was inverted and like a suction cup. It looked terrible and I was walking around the Miami airport like that. TikTok would definitely remove it, but it was gnarly, trust me. In case you're new here, I have had 8 surgeries. I'm 22 and I started my plastic surgery journey at 16. At this point, I have spent, like I said, $90,000 on these surgeries, and that's not counting hotels, flights, medication, aftercare, complications, because at this point, complications have cost me more than the surgeries themselves. Speaking of complications, I'm going to go over each surgery I've had and my complications or complaints that I have about those procedures. Everybody's recovery may look different. This is just what I have experienced. Obviously, some of the complications and complaints that I list are going to be more minor and others are going to be more severe, but I'm just going to go through each surgery and tell you the negatives of each surgery that I have experienced, because I have not had a single surgery that I can say I 100% didn't regret. I feel like complications is something that's not talked about enough in general. You see like the before and after pictures on social media and you're like, oh my god, wow, but you don't see what goes on behind the scenes in terms of the recovery process and how excruciating it can be, and the fact that there is a very high chance that there will be complications that are irreversible. So I'm here to raise awareness. Don't make the same mistakes I made. If you're dead set on getting plastic surgery, make sure you do your research. So we're going to start out with my breasts. I have had my breasts done. When I got them done, the surgeon that did them put the implants on top of the muscle, which is very, very uncommon. It's almost always supposed to go underneath the muscle. I was a C cup prior to my surgery and I got 445 cc's, and I've seen other girls get 445 cc's and it does not look this big. They look absolutely massive. I'm not sure the reasoning for it. I don't know if it has to do with the fact that they were placed above the muscle. But that's the only difference between me and other girls that I've seen with 445 cc's is that mine are above the muscle. Quick little disclaimer while I'm editing. I am aware that the size of your breasts before the surgery can also have an impact on the end results. I'm saying I've compared me to people like me and my results are still drastically different. There was no lift done or internal bra when I got the implants, so my breasts have dropped significantly and the implants are like floating around again because they're on top of the muscle. So if I'm in bed at night laying on my side, my breast implants will flip. Like I said in that last video, I got buccal fat removal. I feel like it aged me quite a bit. I feel like my face looks a lot droopier than it used to and just overall not as youthful. I had armpit lipo. I think it made me look worse than if I had just not done it at all. I don't know what happened in the healing process. I'm assuming some sort of like fibrosis maybe, but it's like super lumpy and there's the tissue all in my armpits, and like I said, now it literally looks worse than if I had just left it alone. Rhinoplasty. Okay, so I feel like my sense of smell has gone down. I think it has to be like right up under my nose for me to smell it, and on top of that, I have become a mouth breather post rhinoplasty, and I'm disgusted by it. For those of you who don't know, being a mouth breather comes with its own issues in itself. Hip implants, the worst. Like I said, I had nerve damage to the point where I was in discomfort 24 hours a day. Like, it would wake me up out of my sleep. I talked about how the implants were sewn into my hip bone, and that was like where most of the pain came from. The pain came from them being sewn into my hips. The actual implant area down here wasn't super painful. The pain was all on that like stitch line. I did finally get them removed in July of this year. I have talked to 5 or 6 different surgeons, and they have all told me that unfortunately I will never regain feeling in my hips. That nerve damage is irreversible. I will always have that like tingly, numb, like it almost feels like you're like how it feels when your foot is asleep. I feel that in my hips, and that is probably never going to go away. So the damage that was done in my hips is irreversible even after removing them. Hip implants were 2.5 centimeters on both sides, so it was about 5 centimeters total. Now that I have them removed, I am dealing with loose skin, fluid buildups, and things like that that is expected to fix itself, but not guaranteed. I can finally run though. Again, now that I got them removed, my hip dips are coming back, and I cannot tell you how happy I am to see them. I wish that I would have appreciated them before. I'm gonna appreciate the fuck out of my hip dips this time around, and I am so sorry to my poor hips that I did this. Okay, then the butt implants. After dealing with the butt implants flipping, I have had to completely limit myself and rearrange my entire life to accommodate these butt implants. Every move I make throughout the day has to be calculated and thoroughly thought out. So you understand, I can't even do like crunches or sit-ups down on the ground, like even on a yoga mat, even on a thick padded yoga mat, I still am not able to do those exercises. Things like getting up out of bed in the morning cannot just be one swift movement. I have to actually lift myself up off my butt, scoot to the side of the bed, swing my legs off, all while still holding up my weight, and get out of the bed. I can't just do one swift movement, otherwise shit will go left. As for my original surgery, the BBL, which is a very popular surgery right now, everybody knows the bulletproof stomach. I would say that would be the only complaint that I have for my BBL, is that I did get some fibrosis on my stomach. And I'm going to touch on 2 other topics briefly that I saw in the comment section, and that was parental consent and how do people at school react. I'm sure people had stuff to say about it, but not to me directly. Parental consent. Like I said, in the state of Florida, you can get plastic surgery done with parental consent. The fact that this happened was not something that I had even thought twice about until I posted the video and saw everybody's reaction in the comments. My blame was placed entirely on the doctors, so it has been an adjustment for me to.
One would be that when you gain weight drastically where they put fat to. 2 would be if you don't take care of yourself and you don't work out, your butt will get so big to where it kind of like goes over your thigh, so it makes you look like a little wisdom tooth, like more hip and then your legs. 3 would be that when you get cellulite, it's going to be so hard to lose it. 4 would be that if you don't maintain your butt, it will start to sag. Next would be that you have to really stay on top of your faja, because if you don't, everywhere that they've got fat from will start looking kind of warped. I don't know if you guys have seen it, where when girls gain weight, their stomach starts to poke out, but they have like the ab sketching and it still like looks weird. That will happen, you know, where your belly is getting big, but you have like abdomen, like abs on the front, if they do that to you. Also, I wish when I got my breast done, they would have told me the importance of under the muscle and over the muscle, because since I was much younger and I haven't had kids, I would have preferred to do it under the muscle compared to where I'm at now. I highly advise anybody that wants to get their body done, especially the young girls, to wait until your woman body comes in. Your woman body doesn't come in until like 26, 27. When you're 21, 22, 23, you're still like at your prime. Enjoy your small breast, enjoy a more petite body, because once you get it done, it is so hard to undo everything. And also, I would say that society's beauty standards always change, and I had my own reasonings as to why I did what I did, and I look back now and understand the insignificant reasons as to why I did it. And I wish someone would have told me just wait. So I'm giving y'all like all the the pros and cons. The only pros I would say, it's aesthetically pleasing, right? If you're really insecure about something, I would say yes, fix it. But I wouldn't advise to do it if it's just petite and small. Don't do it. I would say do it if, let's say, you lost a lot of weight and you have a lot of excess skin and you really want to perk it up. Do it, because I understand like some people suffer from like childhood obesity or things like that, but I highly suggest all the girlies to stay away from getting your body, because now I find myself having to undo everything that I once got when I was 23, about to be 24. I am now 28, and I see myself and I'm thinking like, I really didn't have to touch my body. Had I just waited and worked out, I would have never touched my body. I would have enjoyed my small breast. I would have tried to build up my bum a bit more, because I wasn't lacking. I just wanted my hip dips filled. But thing is, once they start putting fat into it that belongs somewhere else, those fat cells live, and when you gain weight, everything gains weight. And me, I had messed up because I had gotten it during COVID time. So what happened? We stayed in, we were eating, drinking. I gained weight drastically, and I was also in a relationship where we were eating all the time. So know that, guys, okay? I'm being as transparent as I possibly can.
So the people want to know what I've seen in this massage world and BBLs and stuff like that, right? I'm not going to say too much. I'm just going to generalize. Okay, cool. Start off. What I've seen are gaping wound holes. Gaping wound holes. Like they're open. Why you would call me to come and give you a massage while the holes are gaping and they're open? I don't know. You're not even adequately, like, the dressing, you're just leaving the air to you're just leaving the air is just, you're not even a plaster, nothing. Not even a single plaster, not a single dressing, nothing. You're just leaving it for the air to just, like, not being able to wipe the bum. Not being able to wipe the bum. And obviously not being able to wipe your bum and you have wounds in those areas. Yeah. Breeding ground for an infection. Yeah. What else? Obviously, like I said, just pain. Absolute, just agonizing pain. Not being able to walk, not being able to sit, not being able to lie down. Okay, no matter how many pillows, cushions, whatever. Yeah, not being able to do anything. Not being able to even handle lymphatic drainage. Nothing. And when I say to you, even if I do this to touch, they can't handle it. I'm not even exaggerating when I say that. I'm really not. Okay, another thing is people telling me that they've had to be resuscitated. What do you mean you've had to be resuscitated on the table? They've had to resuscitate you because of a big bum, because you wanted a big bum. Resuscitate. Telling me that they've had to, like, give you blood transfusion. Like, what is happening? Like, listen, a BBL, yeah, is the most dangerous. And when I say that, I'm not exaggerating, it's fact. It's the most dangerous surgery you can ever. Why is there just... there's the most dangerous, like, surgery. It's more dangerous than open heart surgery. You see, open heart surgery, yeah, at least with open heart surgery, you need that to survive. You need that to live. You don't need a big bum to survive. I know the streets are hard, but you don't need the big bum to survive. And like I was saying, yeah, about them, I'm not mum shaming, but for me, I'm like, I do this. When I've done it, I don't do it anymore. But when I've done it, I've gone mobile, right? So I'm going to these people's houses. When I go there and I'm going to these houses and I'm seeing your kid, I'm seeing your kids. I'm seeing your kids, and I'm seeing your kids kind of like having to like help you or do something because of this. It's like, oh my God, like it really breaks my heart. It really breaks my heart. And I'm just like, I'm just so glad I stopped. I said, I'm not doing this, man. Like, I'm not, like, it's not worth it. If I do it, yeah, it's not because I agree with it or anything like that. I'll just be doing it for the money, and I don't need the money that bad. I really don't. I'd go without, because I just don't agree with it. I just don't. Like, scientifically, whatever, I just don't agree with it, man. Like, I really don't. So, yeah, I stand by what I said. Don't get a BBL.
The rise of BBL culture did not happen by accident. It is the result of years of shifting beauty standards, heavily influenced by celebrity culture and social media algorithm. A small waist paired with exaggerated hips and a full backside became the new definition of attractiveness. And the more these images flooded our screen, the more they started to feel normal, achievable, and even necessary. For many young women, the pressure is subtle. It shows up in comparison. It shows up when you look at your body in the mirror and you feel like something is wrong, something needs to be done. It shows when attention, validation, and even opportunities seem to favor a certain body type. Over time, this pressure can turn into a strong desire to fix what was never broken in the first place. You see, the BBL is often marketed as a confidence booster, but what is rarely discussed is the emotional state that leads people to consider it. Many are not starting from a place of self-love, but from a place of insecurity, place of comparison, body dysmorphia, and from feeling of not being enough. BBL is the riskiest cosmetic surgery. Recovery is long, uncomfortable, and requires strict discipline. You cannot sit normally for weeks. You have to sleep in a specific position. The swelling, the pain, the uncertainty, the complications, and even after that, the results are not guaranteed. Can you imagine putting yourself through all these things, and at the end of the day, the results are still not guaranteed? So one of the reasons why I'm making this video today is because of what happened here in Nigeria. There was this particular girl who went for a second BBL surgery, and according to my research, she actually went for a corrective BBL surgery this time around. I think the hips were getting big or something like that, and she died. How old is this girl? I think she's around 25, 26. And she's actually not the first person to do this procedure. This is about the third death that we are hearing from young girls. These are girls that are lower than 25 years, going under the knife to get this acclaimed figure 8. It is extremely painful when you think that you're going to go under the knife and come out, successful, and everything just changes. Your story now becomes an example for people. I just want to encourage our girls to please do your research before you do all these things. Ensure you are going to the proper hospital if you think that you just have to do a BBL. Personally, I would never recommend it for anybody. I think you should still try your best to work on your diet, go to the gym, and do all those necessary things. As explained by the doctors, that surgery is extremely risky because bodies react differently. Fat transfer may not settle as quickly as you think it would. Complications can occur. Some women have to go through multiple procedures trying to achieve the perfect look they had in their mind, and just like this Elena that died recently. So there comes a part that is almost never shown, and that is the regrets. The truth is, not everybody experiences it, but for those who do, it can be very heavy. Some women regret the health risk they took. Some regret altering their bodies. Some of their bodies have now become laughing stock. When you see a BBL, you just know that this person has undergone the surgery. And to me, that has defeated the purpose of the surgery. Some of these ladies struggle with maintenance. Some of them even struggle with identity shifts. There's also the financial cost, which is often underestimated. Guys, BBL is very expensive. I even heard that some people take out loans just to go through this procedure. Imagine taking a loan and you'll be paying interest on it just to alter your body. I just find it very, very absurd. I'm sorry. Now, beyond the surgery, there is also expenses for consultations, aftercare, garments, massages, possible reversion, and even travel if your procedure was done abroad. Now, when the outcome does not now match the expectation, the emotional and the financial burden can be very overwhelming. But perhaps the most important part of this conversation is not the surgery itself, but the mindset behind it. Besties, the dark side of beauty standards is not just about physical risk. It's about the psychological impact of constantly feeling like you're not enough the way you are. It is about the way comparison can distort your self-image. It is about permanent decisions based on temporary emotions. So this does not mean that everyone who gets a BBL will regret it. Some people are genuinely happy with their results. But the conversation needs to be balanced. In every success stories, there are untold stories of doubt, complications, and regrets. And honestly, I am happy that many ladies are coming out to actually tell us what they go through with these BBLs. I'm happy that some of them are coming out to tell us that they actually regret it, so that the next person that wants to do this thing without researching can watch some of their videos and make better decisions. So besties, there is nothing wrong in wanting to look good or feel confident. But confidence that is built solely on appearance is fragile. Real confidence is deeper. It is not easily shaken by trends, opinions, or comparison. So before making any decisions that will permanently change your body, it is worth taking time to understand your motivations, expectations, and reality behind the promises. So besties, we have come to the end of today's video. But as usual, I would like to know your thoughts in the comment section. What is the cause of the rising trends among our young girls who are so much interested in doing these BBLs? Besties, don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share with your friends. Till I come your way on another video, have an amazing day. Bye.